going to be received well. It wasn't going to be received well. And when I talk to my people, and when I say this, every single person that I talk to about this in my family, everybody was like not having it. Like it was upset, just straight denial, everything. And no, I have an amazing family. So I think about the people that don't have that.
Yeah.
Structure.
You know what I mean? And now, like, my family is getting it now. But that's because I'm living by my words. You know what I mean? I'm setting my own example.
Well, the biggest thing that I find in, like, looking back at my own life is, like, communication is a 3-step process, right?
Yeah.
We send our message, we code it, decoding, and we interpret, right? So I remember back whenever I would ask my parents why on something, because I said so.
Yeah.
Because I
It's
said
because
so. Nothing
I
was
said
ever
so.
explained.
I was like, alright. And I catch myself doing this with my kids because not only do we
Or
have...
don't do as I do as I say.
yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
And then so not only do we have our 2 kids that came out from separate, then we had 2 together. So
Right.
we got 4 little rugrats running around our house little. I got
The last 2 are George and George. Like, they act like George.
they're terrible. Terrible rebel. You met her.
Yeah.
And Rosie Rose. But today's actually Dylan's 10th birthday.
Happy birthday, Dylan.
Happy birthday, Dylan.
Happy birthday, Dylan. I'll drink to that.
Big 10. I got him a job cutting grass.
Nice. That's how. That's
Nice.
hey. I got.
Made him.
Now
I
you
got
build
Riley
him a
pulling.
company.
I got Riley pulling
Build him a
wire.
company.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I got Riley pulling wire and putting plugs in on the weekend.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Gotta keep it
Yeah.
going, man. You gotta
Tell
show
her to
'em.
keep that wire and go sell it.
she knows. She knows. But,
Oh, man.
but
But
anyway,
no,
yeah, go ahead, sorry,
the
go ahead.
communication is a big thing. I catch myself still with my kids. I'm like, oh no, that's not the way you handle
Yeah.
that situation. Like, they're kids; they don't know anything, and like too often I see like I catch myself do these things every now and again. I'm like,
And you're right, man. And let me tell you something, man. I've never been the type to believe in, and people might hate me for this, but I'm starting to change, just so you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not the type to believe in depression, addiction, and
that's that machismo.
not exactly.
That's
how I
that's
came
that,
up.
That's passed down.
You
don't
you
need
don't,
that.
you
That's
can't
all in
afford
your head.
that. I can't afford depression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't get depressed. I go work.
We'll
Yeah.
work.
That's
You
my
work
therapy,
through everything.
right? So I'm not saying that I don't
Yeah.
believe it or that it exists.
Yeah.
Just on my end. Now, if my kids, if something's wrong and they need a therapist, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get them the help
Yeah.
they need. My wife, if she needs something, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get her.
Because you feel like you can afford that
Exactly.
luxury now.
Exactly. But for myself, I won't, man, because my therapy is work, waking up every day, playing with my kids, but I can't afford it. I can't
Yeah.
afford. But if somebody needed it in my family, I would do whatever I had to make sure they had the help
Yeah.
they needed.
Cause it's something that, like, so how you said it was something that you didn't believe in, right? There's a lot of people that don't believe in it, and a lot of people that don't believe in it actually suffer from it, right? So that's no, like, shit. A lot of people that don't believe in it suffering from it, and when I talk about the black family, right? I talk about the black family. Man, it's crazy. Like, once I knew what depression was, once I knew and understood what the anxiety was and where it came from, I was like, oh shit, that makes so much sense. Why this person was like this person was
Yeah.
like this,
But
and
I
you know what I mean? Because first of all, like I said earlier, we all have some type of trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that transcends like any upbringing, because if you think about our culture as a whole, the upper echelon sends their kids to therapy and then they get on medication. That's why you have a high
And
opioid
see,
crisis.
and see that's where I'm
That's
coming.
the
That's
other-
where I come from. That's where my
Exactly.
beliefs come
Right.
from.
Shove pills
I
down.
don't have that luxury. I
Yeah.
don't have the luxury to
Yeah.
believe in that because, and you know what? I do know people that have money that have done that.
Yeah.
Like you said, the upper echelon. I know
Yeah.
people that have sent their kids immediately and
And
you know,
got
got them all the
them-
pills they needed, and
Got
it
them
made them.
started on drugs.
It almost made them worse. Exactly.
Got them
And
started
so,
on drugs. Didn't fix the problem. They just tried to band-aid.
Our biggest thing is, as parents, I think back to mine, because it's like every time I went to talk to him, I got in trouble. I opened up to my parents and I would
Yeah.
get shut down.
Yeah.
And I see my kids come to me and I'm like, okay, I gotta actually listen. And I listen to listen now instead of listening to hear them.
And I've always told my daughter, I said, hey, don't ever be afraid to tell me anything.
Anything.
I don't care what it is.
Anything.
I said, I will treat you with love before I react. And I always tell her that because I don't know what she's going through.
Yeah.
It's different being a 12-year-old in 2021 than it was back in 2011.
Yeah.
You know, so I told her straight up, I said, don't ever be afraid to tell me anything that's going on.
And everybody has their own thought
And if
process.
you need to talk to someone else about it, let me know and we'll talk to someone else
Yeah.
about it. I said, if it's things you don't want to tell me because you're a female, then talk to mom.
Yeah.
You know, don't be afraid to tell her. And
But you've opened the lines of
And-
communication
I have,
about
and there,
anything.
and there have
And
been
that's
and-
what parents need
and
to do.
there's been instances where she was afraid to tell me because hey, you break something in the house, yeah, I'm gonna get mad, I'm gonna react, right? Clean it, whatever, right? But if there's something going on at school and it's messing with your mental,
Yeah.
I will never get mad because you came to me with a problem that you had
Yeah.
and you want to solve it.
Yeah.
I will never get mad at that.
Yeah.
You know, or if you get into an argument with or say you got in trouble at school with another individual, which
Yeah.
has happened with her before, I always tell her, you come to me first, you tell me your side of the story,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna determine whether I need to get mad at you or not. I said, but you can't get upset for everything because there's gonna be things that you're in the wrong, and I gotta teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
So
And I'm gonna talk to you about that before I react in anger.
Yeah.
But if you make that mistake again, that's when
That's when it's
the
angry.
fast mad reaction comes. And I've always told
Because
her
you've already been.
because I've already told her about
You've
it.
already been warned.
So this is where this is what I do. It's action and consequence, right? That's what we have to. Personal accountability is what we're supposed to be teaching our kids because we're raising functional members of society. So I try to remove anger from it, and I've worked hard at it because that's what I was raised with. That quick, hey, I'm mad
Yeah.
because you messed up. It's like, oh man, that's really not productive to
Yeah.
understanding what it is. Like, I'm not upset with you, but there's a standard to be held. There's a way
Yeah.
things are done, and you have not achieved it. So now something has to be done.
Yeah.
And as they get older, like 10, 11, this is where my kids are now, and I'm like, what do you think I should do? And now I'm gonna give them that option. Most of the time, they say, "Oh, take things away." I'm like, I've taken everything out of your room before, man. I don't know what I.
You're nice, man. I put in the work.
Oh man, and now I'm starting that because now I've been
But-
washing dishes, sweeping, doing everything. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
but
we're
you
gonna
know,
do this.
but you're right, George. And I mean, that's how I am with my daughter right now. I'm gonna be the same way with my son.
Yeah.
And you know, I always like even if something happens at school, and she's gotten in trouble once or twice where the teacher called me and it was an issue,
Yeah.
and so I told the teacher, and I'm always gonna. The teacher's the adult in the situation, so I'm gonna listen to the teacher first
Yeah.
and find out what happened between both students or whatever, and then
But
decide if
the teacher should be non-biased.
right, and then decide if I need to get mad at my kid, right?
Yeah.
And there was an instance where the teacher told me what happened, and I said, "Look, I said it's not. I said it's not her fault. It was an innocent reaction.
Yeah.
We don't teach her to say things or do things at home like that.
Yeah.
But she is around kids that act like that. That their parents let them do that." I said, so before getting mad at Riley for reacting to something, she was just going along with what her friends do. And yeah, it's wrong. And we've never had to teach this lesson. And I'll tell you about it after this.
Yeah.
Because it's between me and Riley and my wife.
Yeah.
But I said we've never come across this issue. We've never had to teach this lesson because we don't tell Riley how the world is. We let her see the world
Let her
and judge it
experience it.
herself.
There
For
you go.
herself.
You know what I
That's-
mean? And
Yeah.
so I told the teacher that. I said, but I will talk to her about it now that she's
now that
done it.
it's came up.
I'll tell her what's right and what's wrong about the situation,
Yeah.
and I'll make sure she never does it again.
Yeah.
And if she does, now Riley's in trouble. But you shouldn't
Yeah.
punish her right now for something that she's doing
she didn't know.
that she didn't know.
She was ignorant to it.
She was. She had no idea what she was saying or doing, and it just happened. And the teacher, you know, she had every right to not understand, but she did, and she was real good about it. She goes, you know what, Mr. Benavides, you're right. We're gonna have a discussion with the other student, and we'll leave it at that. If it happens again, I'll call you first.
But she's a pretty good kid too.
Oh yeah, she never made that mistake again.
Working in education, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to give the good kid the benefit of the doubt.
It is,
man. Like, because you know, I rarely get mad at kids because a lot of times they just don't know. Like, now adults, on the other hand, adults, they know better, and they're just doing it like
just
that. That I'm gonna be mad at that because they know better, or they should know better by this age.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you would
You would think. You would think.
But
you're right.
Looking at our like everything, society as a whole, you know, a lot of us have these problems that we're not willing to actually look at ourselves for like answers, and that's like the hardest thing is being honest with yourself about.
Yeah, and see again, right. I'm black and white, man. I'm a black and white guy. I think they should know by that point. It's
you
like,
mixed?
Huh?
You mixed
from the waist down. But no, but like, it's like you have a tribe, say a third world country tribe, you know, somewhere in a third world country, and they've never been introduced to the Bible. But, or to God or whatever.
Yeah.
But you go there and they have some kind of religion or deity.
Yeah.
So they should know. They know that there's something there. You know what I mean? Or they believe that
they know that there's a higher power.
Just like here, right? That's an example of how an adult should know what's right and wrong by the time they're an adult.
But the thing is, that goes back to the accountability aspect. We have a lot of people that have not been held accountable throughout their lives.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. But those people, to me, like I said, I'm a black and white type of guy. Those type of people, to me, are making that decision and knowing that they're doing wrong if they're doing wrong. And it's like when I went to college. I wasn't going to class. I knew I was doing wrong, but it was so fun while I was partying that I kept doing it.
You did have,
and I had to suffer I did, but I had to suffer the consequences when I came back. You know what I mean? So I knew I was doing wrong. I was having fun doing what I was doing, but I had to suffer the consequences.
You had a fun crew too.
I did, man. Yeah, well, that's another podcast.
It was
for another time.
I remember your 21st birthday.
I don't.
I borrowed money from my cousin just to go to Austin. He gave me $60. That was a lot of money back then.
No, it
wasn't.
Was that the one where we ran over the cones? In the
Yes.
And somehow the cop stopped us and let us go.
Oh, everything, right?
We were behind Thomas.
Yeah.
We were behind Thomas, and he ran over. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't remember much of that night, but it was fun.
You were driving.
I was.
Oh, don't drink and drive. Please.
I was driving before we went out.
Oh, hey, this is Whiskey Wednesday. Brian Benavides,
3D,
George and the Giant. Hey, we're here every Wednesday. Drinking whiskey. You know, that's what we do. What do you guys do here? It's Whiskey Wednesday.
Whiskey Wednesday.
We drink whiskey.
Man, coming soon Tequila Tuesday. I don't know yet.
I got some tequila in there too. So, hey, let's make it happen.
Did we want to go anywhere else, or we just? We
so
flushed that one out pretty well.
Can you hand me that gold brick, please?
Gold bar reminder, right? Oh, I knocked your card.
That's all right.
I'm so sorry.
Giveaway. This is happening. We're gonna pull on Friday.
Friday? We only give it another week, just as a reminder.
Next Friday.
Next Friday?
Next Friday.
I think it's July 2nd.
Everybody
4th
gets
of July.